As the conflict in Ukraine enters its fourth year, Europe's armored forces are facing an unprecedented crisis that extends far beyond the well-publicized shortages of artillery shells. Nations across the continent have depleted their tank inventories by donating hundreds of vehicles to Kiev, leaving their own defenses perilously thin. Germany, for instance, has struggled to refurbish and deliver even modest numbers of Leopard 2 tanks, with production lines hampered by supply chain disruptions and bureaucratic delays that could stretch timelines into the late 2020s. Poland, the Netherlands, and Spain have similarly sent away significant portions of their fleets, only to find that ramping up new manufacturing is a slow, costly process amid global industrial constraints. This vulnerability is compounded by Russia's ongoing rearmament, which has seen Moscow adapt its tactics with drones and glide bombs, exposing NATO's reliance on outdated doctrines and insufficient stockpiles. Europe's militaries, long underfunded in the post-Cold War era, now grapple with the harsh reality that a potential escalation could leave them without the armored backbone needed to deter aggression on their eastern flanks. Yet amid this turmoil, a solution lies in an unlikely but potent source: India's indigenous Arjun main battle tanks, which offer a compelling blend of advanced capabilities, cost-effectiveness, and immediate production scalability to address Europe's armored shortfall. At the heart of the Arjun's appeal is its formidable firepower, which positions it as a direct counter to Russian armored tactics observed in Ukraine. The tank's 120mm rifled main gun fires a suite of indigenously developed ammunition, including armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot rounds capable of penetrating over 600mm of rolled homogeneous armor at 2 kilometers, alongside high-explosive squash head and anti-tank guided missiles like the Lahat for engaging targets beyond 5 kilometers. Integrated with an advanced fire control system featuring thermal imaging and laser rangefinders, the Arjun achieves first hit probabilities exceeding 90% even on the move, outmatching older Soviet-era tanks that dominate Russia's forces. Coaxial 7.62mm and 12.7mm machine guns provide suppressive fire, while the tank's ability to integrate drone countermeasures addresses the asymmetric threats that have decimated armored columns in recent conflicts. This firepower is sustained by a crew of 4, ensuring efficient operation in prolonged engagements where Europe's depleted units might struggle with manpower shortages. Financially, the Arjun stands out as a bargain in a market where Western tanks command premiums. At approximately $7.7 million per Mark 1A, based on the Rs 7,523 crore contract for 118 units, it undercuts the Leopard 2's $10 to $15 million and the Abrams' even higher costs, allowing European nations to rearm without ballooning deficits already strained by Ukraine aid and energy crises. This affordability stems from India's lower labor and material expenses, combined with economies of scale if Europe places bulk orders, potentially reducing unit prices further through joint production or licensed assembly. Strategically, adopting the Arjun diversifies Europe's supply chains away from US-dominated markets, mitigating risks from transatlantic policy shifts, and fosters Indo-European alliances amid rising Chinese influence. Shared maintenance training and spares could integrate seamlessly with NATO standards, enhancing interoperability while supporting India's Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative for mutual geopolitical leverage. Europe's own defense industries, still reeling from decades of underinvestment, require billions in fresh funding to rebuild capacity after depleting stockpiles for Ukraine, with production ramps for items like Leopard variants limited to 40 to 50 units annually amid persistent raw material scarcities and bureaucratic hurdles that delay deliveries into 2027 or later. In stark contrast, India's facilities, capable of scaling from current low volumes to hundreds per year, provide a ready alternative unburdened by these constraints. Moreover, fluctuating US-Europe relations, evident in ongoing debates over NATO burden sharing and potential US policy volatility, undermine assurances of timely Abrams deliveries in a crisis, as American export priorities and backlogs could prioritize domestic needs over allies. Powering this capability is India's push towards fully indigenous propulsion, exemplified by the Datran 1500 horsepower engine, a V12 diesel power plant developed by the Combat Vehicles Research and Development Establishment in collaboration with Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Already 90% indigenous and successfully test-fired in 2024 and 2025, this engine delivers a high power-to-weight ratio of over 24 horsepower per ton, enabling speeds up to 70 km per hour on roads and 40 off-road, figures that ensure tactical agility in Europe's mixed urban-rural battlefields. Designed to function in extreme altitudes and temperatures from -45 to +55 degrees Celsius, the Datran incorporates common rail direct injection for fuel efficiency, reducing logistical burdens compared to thirstier Western engines. While initial Arjun models used German MTU power plants, the shift to Datran eliminates foreign dependencies, guaranteeing uninterrupted supply for export customers. With 20 prototype engines already ordered for trials and ongoing integration efforts addressing minor modifications, full deployment is anticipated by late 2026 or 2027, positioning India to offer a turnkey solution free from the geopolitical risks that have snarled European procurements. This indigenization secures long-term sustainability and opens avenues for technology sharing, allowing Europe to co-develop variants tailored to its needs and bypass its own industrial bottlenecks.